fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
What's up, y'all? We're here. We're live. You're watching Buster Unmasked. It's Monday, and look, I hate saying this shit every show, but they say it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So look, like this video, share this video, and look above my head, go to Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube, and subscribe. Look, guys, got a cool show for you tonight. I'm just going to tell you, I've been keeping my eyes on this young man for quite some time now. Look, from the very first day I seen this young guy, the very first match I seen him in, I knew right then he had talent and he had potential. So ever so often, probably every 2 or 3, 4 months, I go back and I find out what this young man's been doing, and I take a look at his progress. And dude, let me tell you something. This dude here over the past probably 7, 8 months, maybe even a year, man, I feel like he's finally, everything's starting to click, man. He started taking his physical look serious. His in-ring has always been awesome. And let me tell you something, this guy is a flyer too, and he's one of these guys that he's got pinpoint accuracy. When he does a moonsault or a 450 or whatever he does, every single time it's perfect. Boom, pinpoint accuracy. Crisp, clean, clear, beautiful. Look, this guy right now is the current ICPW Infinity Pro Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. He is the DRE. He's Mr. Money Back Guaranteed. And without any further ado, I bring to you Dresean Prince.
Oh,
Dresean.
Yo, that was an amazing introduction. I appreciate that one.
Dude, man, I mean, no bullshit. I've been keeping my eye on you for a while. Let's just start out here. I feel like I've been watching you probably 2 years. How long have you been actually in the business?
So my official debut was September 1st, 2018. So September is it 6 years now? I can't really think math right now, but I think this will be 6 years in officially starting in September. So.
Okay. And like I said, I feel like I've been watching you for at least 2 years, maybe longer, because actually I think the first place I ever seen you was an RWE guy, right?
I was.
I think that's the first place I ever seen you. So more than likely it was probably longer than 2 years that I've been watching you. Dude, like I said, from the first time I seen you, I seen the talent and I seen potential, man. And I like I said, I don't keep up with everything you do. Sometimes 3-4 months can pass by, and I'll see something of yours come across Facebook, and I'll go back and I'll look at your progress and see where you are now, dude. I feel like, man, probably the last 6 or 7 months at least, I feel like it's all kind of clicked for you. Like I said, I feel like you something clicked, and you're taking this pro wrestling more serious than maybe you was in the beginning. Is that accurate?
That's spot on, honestly, man. Like you said in the intro, I started taking my body seriously, and I think that was the first step for me because where I've always been athletic or whatnot, I didn't exactly have the body to to match what I was doing in the ring, and that was always everyone's biggest gripe about me. It's like, hey man, like you're doing great, but do something. And I'm like, okay. So life happened, and I decided that this would be the time where, all right, let's get this down. Let's actually figure out what we're going to do. Let's figure out how we can make something work with this. And that's kind of where everything started over the year. It's just like, it's been a really solid year for me, I would say, especially pro wrestling wise. Like, it's been great, man.
Right. And I was going to touch on that. When I first seen you, I wouldn't call you fat. You're a little chunky.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you was a little more around the bottom more than you was a little around the hips. You was a little bottom heavy. But at the same time, even with that, that's what got my attention, because you were still doing these crazy athletic damn moves that guys your size at the time, your physique at the time, shouldn't be doing, man. And they were always pinpoint accuracy, dude. No lie on that, man. Always pinpoint accuracy. And that's the first thing that kind of drawed me to you, was just, dude, when you're a bigger guy, and you were just carrying weight, man. I think now, dude, I think your look matches your talent. Your look is starting to really match your talent in the ring. And that's what it's all about. It's all about finding who you really are out here anyway. And it takes time. So let's go back. You started in 2018. So kind of take me back and kind of tell me how you got into this business. Maybe who trained you, how you broke in, man.
Absolutely. All right. So this guy actually just got inducted into a Hall of Fame in Arkansas, but I was trained by Dresean Morrow. Back when I first started around, you had to be 18 to start wrestling. So I waited till I was 18. And the very first thing I did was start looking for people to train me. And I magically landed upon Dresean Morrow, who used to go by Cataclysm, very, very prominent name in our scene. And he's been not just a father figure type for me, but pretty much our entire group, just everybody in the Arkansas scene. Anyone my age, maybe a little bit older, can accredit Dresean to helping them in some way, shape, or form. And that it's no different for me. He was there for me. He's trained me. He's here now, like I consider him like a grandfather to my kid, he's the guy. But he took me to Tuckerman, and I got to meet I got to meet everybody there. Lee Michaels, Austin Lane, Ray, all those guys. And they all kind of took me in. And it was funny. The very first time I trained, I was like, hey, is there any way I can just learn how to take moves? Like, I just want to be a test dummy. I just want to be a crash dummy for everybody.
That's the worst thing you could possibly say to a bunch of wrestlers.
They ate it up, man. They were like, yeah, absolutely. And so here I am, first time training. Just learning how to take every move I can. And that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made career-wise. Learning how to take moves so early on was very beneficial to the way I can sell moves now. But I'm getting on a tangent.
Well, it's the bumps, man. Look, I mean, obviously you need to know how to work. You need to know how to wrestle. You need to know the moves, the reversals, all the different holds, as many as you can. Can't everybody know them all.
Right.
But it's the bumps, man. Taking them bumps, getting your body used to them bumps, because that's what a pro wrestler's job is. More than anything else, you take bumps. Whether you're a baby face, whether you're a heel, It's all about bumps, man. Either
Mm-hmm.
you're even in arm drags and stuff as a babyface, you're still going down too.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all about the bump. So I think that was I like that, dude, and I know you got a ton of ring time out of that because
Oh
I
yeah.
know these guys were just probably making up shit they always wanted to try too.
Yep. Yeah,
You know?
man. That's how it is. Like even now to this day, like I'm the guy who's like, hey, if you have anything you want to try that you're afraid to try on anyone else, I'll be the guy for you. Like for me, I've always valued the art of selling and bumping because to me it's becoming a lost art in a way.
Right.
And being able to sell and make your opponent look like $1,000,000, that's pretty much my primary goal in every match I do. Like I do the cool fancy moves, but if you look back on a lot of my matches, I'm just getting my ass kicked a lot. But I do what I do to try to make, try to make the match mean something. You know what I mean? And selling was just the first thing I wanted to do.
Well, selling's the art, man. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. Pro wrestling to me, period, from beginning to end is an art form when it's done
Mm-hmm.
right, done properly the way it should be done.
Oh yeah.
And selling's an art. Pro wrestling is built on heat.
Mm-hmm.
Without heat, there's nothing. I mean, without heat, there's no reason for us to be having these matches.
Yep.
But you can't get good heat unless you got somebody who can really sell good and milk that crowd and
That's
milk
right.
these moves. You get the sympathy from the people, man. And
Yes, sir.
that's the art form of it, dude. And Draven, man, I had him in I had the whole Modern Day Monster crew on a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Draven's a talented guy. Just to look at him, if just somebody on the outside, if you just go look at this dude, you probably think one thing, but really he's a talented guy in the ring, and he's passionate about this business. That's one thing I learned about him when I had him on the show.
For sure.
He cares, and that's the thing about pro wrestling. You need to care. You as a wrestler, if you don't care, ain't nobody else out there going to care about you.
No, and that's it. That's the thing. That's where passion comes in. Like you can see when people are just phoning it in, and you can see when people really care about what they're doing. And body language goes a long way in wrestling. And I took theater in high school, and that was one of the things I learned: the physical body language, the way you're portraying, even if you're not talking. And a lot of people, their passion shows in the way they actually go out there and do their thing and show like, I care about this sport. I care about this art. You know what I mean? And Draven is one of those primary people for me in the business, not even just in Arkansas, but wholeheartedly all around. Right. He's one of those guys who exemplifies like passion, wisdom, and just the ability to tell a story. Like you don't get much better.
I'll be honest with you. You're the first male wrestler I've had on here that actually done theater, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't have it I was a heathen when I was a kid and a teenager, so they may have had it. I don't know, but man, once I got into wrestling, I would have loved. I thought back, man, I would have loved to take a drama club or drama class or something when I was in high school because,
yes, sir.
I mean, that's what pro wrestling is. Like you said, it's learning how to tell a story with body language. Draven wore a hood for a long time. I see he's back in it a lot now. I wore a hood forever. The first part of my career, I wore a mask. Right. And it taught me so much. It helped me learn so much about drawing emotion and showing my emotions without having a facial expression or being able to say something. You gotta use your body to tell these stories when you're wearing a hood, because you can't talk most of the time. Right. Ain't nobody see your face. But talk to me about, let's go back, man. Were you an athletic kid in school? Or were you a nerd? I mean,
oh man. So I was everything, brother. I was always an athlete. I always did athletic stuff. I played baseball forever. I wasn't allowed to play football, but it was because of my safety. I'm trying to get this phone right. I don't know what the problem is here. Hold on. All right. So I always grew up doing sports and whatnot, but high school came around and I started doing backflips. And this is where the theater thing came in. I was an athlete doing backflips just because I could do it. And as a teenager, if you can impress everyone around you by doing something that no one else can, you're going to do it. And you're going to do it as much as you possibly can. And that's pretty much how my high school career was.
That's
the backflip guy.
You're gonna milk that
Yeah.
for all it's worth, all the glory you can
Yeah.
get out of it, man.
Oh, absolutely. I had 2 years of popularity based on just being able to do a backflip. It was so worth it. But so one of the theater, the drama director was I had to take theater class for credits, and he saw that I could do a backflip and saw that I had like this personality to me. But at the time, I didn't want to do anything theater wise because I had a lot of stage fright. I wasn't one of those people who, aside from the backflips, obviously, I wasn't one of those guys who could like go into a crowd and just like be the life of the party. I was a nerd. I was a nerdy athlete who could just kind of fit into wherever. I think I was a good example would be like a chameleon. I think
Dude,
I was a chameleon. So
dude, I tell my wife that all the time.
mhm.
Look, I've always been a big guy, but I was able to transcend different groups in school. Like I could
Yep.
go hang out with the prep kids.
Yep.
Me personally, I was a hood.
Mhm.
But I could go hang out with the prep kids. I
Right.
say the same thing about myself. A chameleon, man.
Yep.
Man, 100%. I tell my wife that. She's heard it a
Oh
thousand
yeah.
times, man. And
Yes, sir.
that's what life's kind of all about. Sometimes I can fit into any situation if I have
Mhm.
to. I believe.
Yep.
And dude, you talking about your personality? I see a lot of that. I see more of your personality coming out now in
Yeah.
your wrestling than I ever did before.
Mhm.
Man, dude, I can see it. And drama club, man. Let's get back there. Talk to me
Yes,
about
sir.
drama club, and then how you feel like it helped you in the ring once you got in, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way this all went down, this is how fate has it. You know what I'm saying? I'm strong in my beliefs, and I believe that the Lord has his timing is always right. That's my thing.
Right.
So go looking back at it, I'm like, aha, I got it. But the way it worked out was I was just doing my thing, doing the backflips, just being a goofball in class, and he was like, you should be in one of my plays. And I'm like, absolutely not. I will not do that at all. And so he was like, okay, how about this? I'll cut you a deal. And because he knew I had a little big head on me, and he used that to my advantage, which I'll give him credit for now in this age. But he definitely played to my ego back then. He was like, man, you'd be great in this what if you just did one and then you didn't have to do any more? Like you'd be fine. Just do this one for me, and then you don't have to.
He worked
And
you.
I was like, he worked me big time. He worked me.
You.
And then he was like, but on the other side of that, if you don't do this one, then you have to agree to do all the other ones. Because he really wanted me in this specific play. And I'll tell you what play it was here in a second. But he said, if you don't do this one, then you have to agree to do all the other plays we do for the rest of the year. And so I thought about it. I was like, fine, what's the play? The play was High School Musical. All right. So yeah, I first ever time being in front of a crowd, first ever time doing anything like that, I had to do a musical. Not only did I have to do a musical, I had to sing in front of people, which I never did.
Ooh.
I had to, yeah, oh man, it was awesome. All right. So looking back at it, I'm like, man, I'm really glad I did this. But the amount of nerves I had going into just singing for people. And then the worst part of it all, I got a lead role. So I had to really commit to this whole thing. And it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Honestly, the theater kids, we were all kind of like our own family, and
Right.
they were their own group, and I was an outsider. They all took me in, pretty much took me in like their own, treated me like such, treated me with respect. And to this day, I still talk to a lot of them. Like I made lifelong friends in drama, but as far as wrestling, it helped me actually learn how to react, not just act, but react. And I feel like
Right.
reaction is really the secret to it all. Like selling, that's all selling is reaction. You know what I mean? And so I was like, all right, I'm going to learn how to react. Even if I'm not in the scene, if I'm not saying anything, I want them to know that I'm there. Not by taking away what's going on in the front, but like if you're paying attention, you see, oh, he just did something that's synonymous with something. He just made a reaction. I wonder what that means. And I translated that to wrestling. And
Right.
that's one of the things I love doing, just throwing those little subliminal things in the camera. I'll do something very subtle. And if people are paying attention, they can go back and look at all of it. And I credit that completely to theater and drama.
Well, that's wrestling in general. One thing we don't do enough anymore in wrestling is plant little seeds.
Yes,
In
absolutely.
wrestling, we're allowed to plant a seed 3 months, 4 months before we ever actually want to nurture that seed and start using it and get it to grow. But I don't feel like we do that enough now. I feel like that's part of the lost art. Here's the thing about wrestling nowadays. I feel like the fans dictate the product. Well, when I was brought in, I was taught we tell the fans what they want to see.
Right.
That does not mean you don't listen to them. If you do something, put something out there and they shit on it, well, you know, pull it back, come with something else. But overall, we want to dictate to the fans what they want to see without them even realizing that. And that's where all these little seeds that you plant and could use that people's going to think back on. They're going to think, well, you know, you get they might not know it when it starts, but you start a good angle. 2 weeks in, they're thinking about you and this guy, and they realize, you know, think about 3 months ago what happened. The dude said this. It got to go here, you know.
Yeah.
Lost art of wrestling and stage fright, man. I understand it 100%. When I first broke in the wrestling business, dude, I've actually pulled up to shows and drove off because stage fright was that bad for me, man.
Yeah,
it took me a while to. Basically, I just had to decide, screw it, and you know, you just got to get over it, man. Because if you don't, it'll cripple you. But
exactly.
How was it after you finished that first play, man? Talk to me about going off stage, all them people getting that reaction. I'm obviously, you were hooked, I know.
Yeah, I was locked in after that. Just feeling feeling the camaraderie, the group, the inclusion that I felt with the group, and then how the whole play was successful. They still talk about that to this day, and that was 10 years ago. So, you know, that's one of those things. That was it for me. I was hooked, man. I couldn't think of anything better to do at the time. And at that point in time, I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my high school career. And that was pretty much what I did. I stayed in theater till I graduated, and that was great. That was all I did, man.
So take me from theater, from training to be a pro wrestler to your very first match. Talk to me about, were the nerves for the first match as bad as the nerves for the play?
Yeah, no. Oh, wait, they were way worse. Way worse, man. Okay, so it's funny that you're asking about this because I actually went back and watched my debut again with a buddy of mine earlier today. So the whole thing about my debut is I had absolutely no idea that I was debuting that night. I was a ref. I was doing ref stuff. I was prepared to do the whole night of refereeing. And during the first promo of the show that I debuted on, we did a spot, and Draven ended up whispering, "Hey, buddy, take your ref shirt off. You're going to accept this open challenge." And in the middle of the ring, this is where I learned that I'm going to have my wrestling debut. Middle of a promo, fans are all there. I can't scream happiness because, you know, that's what I want to do. You know, this is my whole dream come true. I get to do this. So I put on a brave face. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this thing. The nerves were, I can't even comprehend just how nervous I was going into that whole thing. Luckily I had a good enough opponent to where he guided me through it, but man, oh man, I'll tell you that, it was great though.
So let me hit you with this. Are you glad that you didn't know until it was already happening pretty much? Or do you, I hate anticipation. Look, I hate anticipation. So for me, I knew my first match was coming a week probably before it actually happened. So that whole week, man. I'm just building this thing up higher and higher and higher. I'm getting more and more nervous.
Yep.
And it was just the worst, man. I like it when, because a lot of times at a wrestling show, you can be a trainee and that's ready to wrestle. You can be sitting in the crowd and somebody not show up, and you'll get a tap on the shoulder and a whisper in your ear. You got your gear, and that's how a lot of guys get their first match. And I love that method because for me, it wouldn't give me all the time and to anticipate this thing, man. And let me ask you this: how long had you been refereeing before this actually happened?
I want to say 3 months, maybe 4. I know that it wasn't very long. I think I was. They'll say that I was ring ready far before I actually started, but I didn't ref for very long. Reffing to me was a way to learn psychology, and they all knew that, and I knew that, and that's what I did. That's all it was for me. I was like, okay, I'm right here by the action. I don't have to be in it, but I can still see how it's all going down. And so I value my ref time so much, so much.
I was just fixing to head there with you and ask you that
Mm,
exact question because I talk to wrestlers who start refereeing, and
mhm,
hands down, every single wrestler that started as a referee tells me that they're glad they did because it allows you to be in the ring but not
mhm.
be right in the middle of it. And you get to watch and you get to, like
Yep.
you said, you got to get to learn how the process of how this thing's supposed to
Mhm.
work, man. So,
Absolutely.
so you believe refereeing probably definitely helped you
Yeah.
definitely with psychology when you actually got
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
first match.
Yes, sir. I will say that for sure. It also taught me the value of a good referee because uh, they are few and far between. But when you got them, you hold on to them, you cherish them because, oh man, yeah, that was refing was one of those things where I had to take seriously because I knew I could easily make or break a match just by screwing up. And I
Right.
had one screw up. I did the I don't know if I'm supposed to count to 3 brother pin, the one. Yeah, it's like, all right, just count. But that was for me, it was fun. It was really good. And it helped me meet a lot of the guys, the older guys, the vets in the business who I just
Right.
got to learn from them just because I had to be there. And so you take every moment you can with vets and guys who you respect in the business and learn whatever you can from them, however you can. And so being right there, listening as a referee, I'm like, okay, this is why they're doing this. This is why this is happening. Like I get to actually break down a match without being in it. And that was a timeless, a timeless thing for me to learn in wrestling.
Yeah, I think it's a 100% plus. If you're here's the thing, you can't put no
Mhm.
giant out there as a referee because you don't want your referee to be bigger than all your wrestlers. But
Exactly.
if you're
Exactly.
if you're a wrestler and you're the right size to also start out as a referee, I would say do that because
Oh
it's
yes.
it's experience that you're not going to get. You're gonna you referee 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you have your first match. You're gonna be
Hmm.
comfortable in the ring at least. You're,
Yep.
you're gonna be
Yep.
comfortable, and then like you said, you're already in the ring with all these different veterans, all these wrestlers. So now
Hmm.
you've been in the ring with them match after
Yep.
match for months. They're comfortable with you. So now in
Hmm.
turn, if you have to work with each other,
Hmm.
they're comfortable with you. It's not there's not that unknown. They know what you can do.
Right.
They know who you are. You
Exactly.
know them. So you kind of
Hmm.
know what to do. It makes it a whole lot easier, dude. Uh,
Absolutely.
so look, your very first match was at ASWF, right?
Hmm. Yes, sir.
So take me through the different places you've worked leading up to now Infinity Pro and being the champion. So take me through, where did you go from ASWF?
All right. So from ASWF, I debuted at South Central Wrestling in Mountain Pine, which is I'm there now. I'm the former cruiserweight champion there. Um,
Hold on. That is
and
the.
yeah.
Sorry, but listen.
Oh, you're good.
That's actually the first place I seen you. I was going to say something about that. I couldn't
Mm,
remember what it was called. I was going to say that when
yeah.
I actually first saw you, I thought you were up in the mountains of Arkansas somewhere
Yeah.
wrestling, and it was South. I didn't realize they still ran. I hadn't seen any of
Hmm.
their flyers lately.
So we've taken June and July off now because it's too hot for one, and
Right.
two, Magic Springs comes around. Business is very slow in the summer, so they're like,
Right.
"All right, we'll take this break." But yeah, they every fourth Saturday of every month, except for December and January and June and July. So 8 months out of the year, they run the fourth Saturday. Um, Still my home. It's still my baby. Like I love that promotion. Been there since day one. Not as a wrestler, but I've been there since their very first show. So
Right.
So back to then there was Living Faith Wrestling. That was one of the promotions in Benton. It was a Christian-based promotion. They ran on Sundays, and that company isn't around anymore. But IPCW is somewhat of like a revamp of that promotion. You know, bigger and better, but a lot of the same guys from there are in IPCW.
And now
And
IPC, I think I even said it wrong, even though I asked you right before we went on the air. It's Infinity Pro Championship Wrestling.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I said ICPW again, Infinity Championship Pro Wrestling, but it's Infinity Pro Championship Wrestling.
yeah, it's a mouthful, honestly, but it's a man. I'm so thankful for them over there. They're really one of the few companies who saw what I was doing, saw that I was, you know, trying to make waves, and they were like, all right, well, we'll see, you know, and they trusted me and put me in the position that I am now. But I'm getting on a tangent. All right, so ASWF. I was running in Tuckerman the whole time up until COVID hit, and that was when everything shut down. And then RWE opened up, and that's when I went to RWE. And I was there until they shut down as well. And throughout that, I ended up going here to a few places. I ended up in 901 Wrestling last year. I went to Paradigm once, Paradigm Pro Wrestling in Indiana, this was way back in the day. This was before I even had any level of confidence in the ring, so it wasn't exactly a successful journey. But I did TIWF. I got to wrestle Zay Washington, which one of my favorite matches ever. That was one of the matches where I was like, yeah.
So talk to me about that, because Zay obviously one of the most talented dudes around our area. My opinion, Zay's a guy. I'd love to see Zay get an opportunity in WWE developmental, man. Above anywhere else, I think he could do it, and I think the structure would be great for him. Talk to me about is Zay your first high level opponent like that, or had you wrestled some high level guys earlier?
So in terms of like this guy can go, I'd put him there. He was definitely my biggest challenge at the time of my career. It was 2020, so I didn't really have the confidence there. But my match against Zay was one of those matches where I was like, I might actually be kind of good at this thing. And like you said, he's phenomenal. Zay Washington, I'll put him over any day of the week. He's one of the top performers in Mid-South, and that's hands down.
And here's the thing about pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it takes. You start out at one level, you work with all the guys at that level, but if you really if you really want to make a go at this business, you got to up your level.
You have to.
You got to get in the ring with guys that you know already are better than you to see if you even belong.
Right. Exactly.
And so talk to me about the match, man. The match itself sounds like it was awesome, dude.
It was amazing, man. That was actually the match that made RWE look out and reach out to me. They were like, wow, I didn't know you had it like that in you. I didn't either at the time. So that was that match itself. Definitely my most fast-paced match at the time. I was out of shape at the time, so it was a challenge for me. But man, just our styles are so similar to one another. And you know, when you have styles that match, it's either going to be really good or really bad. And we managed to roll the dice properly, and our styles just work so perfectly together. I'd love to run it back with him now. With the way things have been going for us both, I think we are on different levels than we were then. And even then, he was levels above.
That's a match. I was just sitting here thinking about that as you said it, man. I'd like to see you two guys square off now in the ring,
man.
And I'd like to see the match myself, man.
Yeah, man. If he's watching, I would like to make it happen. Like, I would love to make a match with Zay Washington happen this year, if anything, because I think we could steal a show. Any show we're on, I think we could do it, man.
Dude, I think you're already booking one of your own main events for TIWF, man. I feel like
Hey,
if any of the guys are watching, I feel like you might get a call here soon about that
we
because
might have to
it's,
talk, man.
dude, it sounds like a match that people would want to see.
Man,
I personally want to see it, so
hey, let's make it happen, man. Like, if you know anybody whoever the man in charge is over there, tell them to holler at me, and we'll do some business. Because I would love to come back to TIWF for one, because I haven't been there since that match, and for two, I just need to run it back with him. I just want to see. I want him to see how far I've come, and I want to see how far he's come.
right, right.
Mm.
So where'd you go from TIWF?
All right, so from TIWF, because it was just a little one-off. I was in RWE pretty much full time for that time, doing SCW on the side. There was also AWO, which was a promotion that was it was pretty short-lived. Unfortunately, circumstances kind of kept it from running how it should, and then COVID hit and kind of sliced it all away.
Yeah,
But
COVID knocked a lot of companies out of
yeah,
business, man.
oh
That
yeah,
never came back, you know.
right. And I was actually the first ever AWO heavyweight champion. 6 months into my career, which I look back now and I'm like, what the heck were you guys thinking at the time? Like, why would you do that to yourselves? But at the time, I was very honored. Like, I can look back now at this age. I'm just like, I wouldn't have done it.
What the hell were y'all thinking, man?
Right. Like, I wouldn't have made it.
Hey, that's
But,
wrestling, man. That's
yeah.
wrestling. Here's the thing. Every one of these little promotions are looking for a star.
Yeah.
They're looking for a guy they can call their star.
Mhm.
And I mean, sometimes when you're the WWE, you got time to build stuff and do what you want.
Yeah.
When you're out here running little shows on Friday and Saturday night,
Mhm.
you got to go with who you think's the best at the time for your company, man. So obviously,
gotta strike while it's hot.
Somebody thought that you were the guy for them right then.
Man, I was grateful. Like, it was my rookie year, so that was something I can actually like say I got to accomplish in my rookie year. Heavyweight champion. That was cool. But hindsight is 2020, and I'm like, looking back, they probably could have gone a different route for this and would have functioned a lot better. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity that they gave me to be champion, because
right.
I've essentially been in a sink or swim position my entire career. They're like, all right, we like you. We think you have potential. So we're going to throw you at the wolves at every chance we get. And a lot of times you sink, a lot of times you got to swim. And I feel like more times than not, I've gotten to swim, which I'm very thankful for. But
I'd rather have the pressure, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Here's the thing about pro wrestling. I'd rather have the pressure. If you can't do it under the pressure, then there's a big chance you can't do it at all.
That's right, man.
You know, what do? You go from there. If you can't work in bumfucked Arkansas on a Saturday night in front of 40, 50 people and pull that off and handle that pressure, what happens when the WWE comes calling and you're on the biggest stage of them all, and you got to do something? You're going to crack. You're never going to make it there because you're going to crack under that pressure, man.
That's the thing, man. Pressure makes diamonds, and pressure also makes dust. And it really depends on which one you want to be. And I've always prided myself on trying to be a diamond in the wrestling business, because I do think people see me as a guy with potential, which it means a lot to me. And it's also really weird. Okay, so let me break down why it's so weird to me. I have had social anxiety and all types of like acceptance issues growing up my whole life, and the wrestling business has been very accepting of me. So that amount of confidence in me and faith in me was very, very overwhelming for a long time. But this is my passion. This is what I was born to do. You know what I mean?
Well, let's talk about that confidence thing, because if I'm remembering right, when I first started keeping an eye on you, I could tell by some of your posts that you went through a little stage maybe where your confidence was low. You were second guessing. I don't think you were just second guessing doing the wrestling, but I mean, if I remember correctly, it's the post I seen and read and different stuff. You were just kind of second guessing life in general, almost.
Oh yeah.
So talk to me about that, because here's the thing: a pro wrestler needs confidence.
Yeah.
It's key, man. You need that confidence, and it's tough when you lose it, and we all do it. We all have them stages, dude. If you do this long enough, you'll have that stage more than once. Sometimes this business puts you up on a pedestal, other time it boots you in the ass.
Puts you right in the dirt, man.
So talk to me about that, because those confidence issues are a real thing for not just pro wrestlers, but athletes, anybody in general in life. Everybody has confidence issues. So talk to me about having those issues, and then how you kind of made your way past that, man. Because here's the thing: I think after those is when I started seeing this guy come out.
Man, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna peel back some wounds here for you, because I'm very transparent, which is this is part of what I'm about to tell you. For the majority of my life, I would say I struggle with that confidence level, and my lack of self-confidence was just very loud when I got in the wrestling business, because when you're a teenager in high school, you can distract that with backflips, you know? So, so, you know, as I get older and as I see like the wrestling business, I see where I am, I see where everyone else is. Envy is very easy to attain in wrestling. Jealousy is a very easy thing to fall under in wrestling. And I'm just as guilty of that. And it wasn't because I felt like these guys didn't deserve it, but I felt like I knew I was holding myself back. And it wasn't that, oh, this should be my spot, not theirs, or this should be my time. It's, I'm doing this wrong, man. Like there's something going on wrong here that needs to be fixed. And this was I would call it a 4-year-long journey. And I have had great people in my real life who have helped me through that and stuff. But man, I'll tell you, like, just the whole not knowing why you're not where you think you should be, knowing that you have this ability and you have this gift, and for whatever reason that exists, it's just not there, you know? And I had to look deep in the mirror. I had to be like, all right, what's the problem? Is it because people aren't seeing me, or is it because I'm not making myself visible, you know? And that was kind of where the whole, let's get my body right. Let's get some good gear. Let's put myself out there more. And that's where the whole less sad posts and Facebook stuff came. And I was like, all right, this isn't getting me anywhere. So why don't I just stop doing it and just see what happens if I just try to look at life from a positive standpoint? Try to look at life like, all right, things aren't great, but they can be. Just put in the work. And that was kind of just my daily thought process throughout it all. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, self-confidence is huge. Like I said, the stage fright, part of my stage fright came from my confidence not being where it really should have been or needed to be, that, you know, I belong out there, you know, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal for anybody, man. I understand that 100% fully. And it's hard. It's hard when and dude, I love the fact that you said I was holding myself back. Man, let me tell you something. I've been in this business for 30 years now, and I feel like I'm just now, through my whole wrestling career, I never really let loose and let myself come 100% out, man. Right. I got close, but never did it. And still to this day, I feel like I'm just now starting to come into my own doing this stuff. You know, and it all comes from, I couldn't do this if I didn't have the wrestling experience, is the way I see it. Yeah,
absolutely.
But dude, it's a constant journey. It's a self-discovery too. That's one thing about pro wrestling. You got to get used to them kicks in the ass and that rejection.
Oh, yes.
You get rejected more than you get approval. But man, once you can handle that and you toughen that skin up, man, the sky's the limit, especially for a guy like you, man. And like you
I
said, man,
appreciate that. Thank you.
man, your look, keep doing what you're doing. I see the. Here's the thing I tell people all the time. I don't see you guys as what you are. I feel like I see you guys as what you could be, or what I believe you guys could be. When I
Right.
look at all these different young wrestlers out here, or anybody, I see what you're doing, but in my head, it immediately starts working. The gears start turning, and I see guys do things or say things or just anything. It could be an expression, and I'm like,
Right.
man, the
Yeah.
possibilities. I see
Yeah.
unlimited possibilities with you, dude.
Thank you, man. That means a lot coming from you because I was a big fan of yours before you invited me to your podcast. I was like, man, I really hope one day he invites me. I would love to do this. And then you reached out. I was like, what? This is cool.
Dude,
And it was great. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
dude, when you said earlier you fight and you believe that things happen in the right time when they're supposed to, that's one thing I've learned over time. Because when I was young, getting into business, I didn't have no patience. You know, I'm like you, I want it right then.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you may not be ready for it right then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everybody's clock's different, but timing, dude. I've been watching you, like even long before this podcast started. I've had my eyes on you.
Thank you.
Long before this, it just happened to finally the time come along. And truthfully,
Yeah.
I hadn't really checked in on you, and honestly, it's probably been about 5 months. And I went back and you posted something, or I seen a clip of something, and I thought, well, let me go check this out. And I was blown away with the progress you have made
Thank
since
you.
the last time I kind of checked in on you. And dude, it's meant to be tonight. So
Oh,
far,
yeah.
I've loved talking to you. You're an intelligent guy,
Thank you
down
so
to earth,
much.
and your thought process is perfect for this business. Don't get caught up. It's one thing to be confident and know you're good. It's another thing to kind of get caught up in your own hype.
That was the line. Yeah.
This
That's
is
the
the
line I've always been
wrestling
afraid
business.
of. Yeah.
I mean,
You
don't get me
know,
wrong. You need that cockiness. Shawn Michaels was probably the
yeah,
best Shawn Michaels ever when he was the biggest prick ever. But
that's true.
he could still, once he got in that ring, he could back that up. You could not
Mm-hmm.
deny, no matter how big of a shithead he might have been backstage, once he
Yeah,
stepped in that ring, nobody could deny his
that's
talent.
right. That's
And
right.
there you go, man. That's you, man.
I
I don't think
appreciate that,
nobody can
man.
deny the talent, man.
Thank you so much, man. So for me, one of the things I've tried to kind of learn and get uh, to like develop for myself is how not to cross the line between confident and cocky, or like too arrogant, because I've had stints in my life to where I let the confidence get to my head big time, and someone had to pluck the ego of mine, usually Draven, but it was
Yep.
but that's why I'm so thankful for him, because he was there to make sure that my ego was in check at all points and times, and I can't thank him enough for that. But for me, it's like I have to get to the point where I'm not doubting myself, because I know I'm good at this, but I'm not the best. I don't think I'm the best, but that's my goal. It's to be the best. I don't think that's a problem, but I don't ever want to walk around saying there's nobody better than me, because that's a level of cockiness I can't respect, and I don't want to respect it. And I don't want to be that either. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the key, man. You can't be too arrogant out in the ring on the floor for the fans, especially if you're a heel. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no such thing as being too arrogant,
Nope.
but keep that in check in the back with the guys. Stay one of the
Mm-hmm.
guys. You know what I mean?
Always. Always.
No matter if you know you're the guy who stole the fucking show tonight, and could there wasn't another match on there that touched you. Uh, don't take that tone with the boys.
Right.
You know, be one of the boys.
Yeah.
Stay humble. Push
Mm-hmm.
everybody, because, like you said, envy and jealousy. Pro wrestling is riddled with envy and jealousy, and it's easy to become envious and
Yeah.
jealous of people, especially
Super
when.
easy.
Here's the thing: a lot of times, you know, you got more talent than this other person that's getting the push or whatever they're getting, and you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking, well, why? A lot of times, it's because they were the squeaky wheel who politicked. That's something else about wrestling, dude. Wrestling's a game of politics.
Yeah, it is.
Don't be a shithead with it, but don't be scared to politic for opponents and spots and matches you want.
Yeah.
Nobody's
You have to have a voice, man. Like, you got to have a voice at some point in time. That was one of those things I had to learn too. Like, I'm young, but I feel like I have a stronger voice in the business than I did when I was even younger. Right. And I don't like politicking. I don't like, hey man, I want to win I want to be the champ. You know, I'm not a fan of politics. I don't like it in wrestling. I don't like it in general, but that's a different topic for a different day. So, you know, for me, it's just one of those things where like wrestling could be such a successful business if we all work together rather than one person trying to stroke their ego at the behest of everyone else. Whenever everyone, if you can, okay, here's where I think politics kind of work out. All right. If your politicking can benefit everyone, by all means, say what you have to say. But if your politicking only benefits you in short and long term, that's when you probably need to reevaluate what exactly you're in the business for. You know what I mean?
Nice. A lot of that's a nice dream, young man. I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of that's a nice dream, man. Look, here's the thing. When you got jealousy and envy, you got politics.
Yeah, that's true.
Just as simple as that. And the wrestling, I don't think people realize that the wrestling business was designed to work a certain way. You might can change the product, but you can't change the actual business because it was designed to work that way. It's not designed to work any other way.
Right.
And it's just the business, man. Look, I didn't politic at all when I was an active wrestler. That's one thing I think now I look back and wished I had done because I didn't care about politics. Right. You always think talent's going to rise, talent's going to get you there, but a lot of times that talent needs to squeak a little bit, like a little mouse needs to chirp some and voice your opinion and say, hey, politic for the things you want. If there's a big opponent or a big match or an angle that you've got you think's good, that's the type of stuff politic for. You know what I mean? Don't politic to hurt the next man. Politic to better you. You know,
better myself or even a friend. You know, like I've lobbied for a few of my buddies. You know, they've lobbied for me. Sometimes getting your buddies in there can open the door for profit for the company. You know, this is just, hey, this is what you're missing. You should just give it a try. That's positive politicking for me. And there exists positive politicking in wrestling. It's just rare, I guess. You know,
it's like the news. Nobody talks about any of the good shit, man. It's always the bad stuff. Dude.
It's always the bad, man. And I would love for our wrestling community to become united, but as long as the internet exists, I don't think that will ever happen. Because you get a platform where you can just say whatever you want with little to no consequences, you're going to say it.
And immediately, man, it's right out there, man. You think you type it, it's out there for the world.
So, that for me, it's a big dream to have to unify all of pro wrestling, but that is pretty much my ultimate goal. Like, if I could do anything other than go big, I want to build Arkansas's wrestling scene to where it is stronger than it ever has been, where the talent pool could easily make it to one of the TV shows, to where we have big events coming all over the state. Like that's always been my big dream. And I got to kick some people in gear for that because a lot of us don't want to listen to each other because we're all adults, but we're all little kids at the same time. And so, you know, that's just what I want. You know what I mean? That's just doing that. That's what I envision being able to hang my hat on. Being like, I was an influence for the positive growth of Arkansas's wrestling and just wrestling in the Mid-South in general.
Well, here's the thing. Keep in mind, the more over you are, the more prominent position you have, more ability you have to make that change. So it's still at the end of the day, here's the thing, you can become a superhero. Then it's just whether you use that power for good or for evil.
Right.
And so don't ever lose the fact that the better position you put yourself in, if you're a positive guy, you have more platforms and more opportunity to try to make these changes better for the business that you want to. When if you're at the bottom of the pecking order on the totem pole, ain't nobody listening to nothing you got to say anyway.
Exactly. That's the sad part of it.
So look, talk to me. No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you're good, man. I was just gonna.
No, finish your thought, man. Finish your thought.
I was gonna say that was just one of those things. I was just agreeing with you. I honestly lost my train of thought. I do that a lot. So, what were you about to say?
Well, look, let's talk about you becoming the Infinity Pro Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
There it is.
Talk to me. How did you win it? And talk to me about winning the title, man.
All right. So it was, I believe, the May show. It was, I can't even think of the date right now because, wrestling happens and I hit my head a few times. You get it. You understand.
I don't care about the date. I want to feel that emotion. I want that emotion. The date don't matter to me. Talk to me about the match, the winning the belt, and just the feeling that you had winning the belt.
Man, okay. So the great thing about my match was it was a fatal 4-way, which was also the match type where I won my first heavyweight championship 5 years before. So we had it going. They had told me what was going on. And this was actually the show that I get to join up with my boys, Connor Vega and Jordan JRT, who we're Big Money Franchise.
Franchise, right.
Yes, sir. So that was actually the show that we got to officially start the group. I turned heel. They betrayed their original team partner. They joined with me. We all came together. And, man, for me, like in wrestling, it was great. But I will say the crowd left because their hometown boy was a semi-main. And, yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes the crowd sees who they want to see and they leave. Unfortunately, it happened to me. It happened at the expense of me, but it happens.
Dude, I see promoters make that mistake all the time. Look, Moondog in Osceola, when he started MCW, back when it was Moondog Championship Wrestling, you'd go book these little towns and you'd have one of the hometown guys. And he knew better to begin with, but a couple of times he put them out there, feature match, semi-main, and sure enough, man, as soon as that hometown boy left, 30 people leave with him. And then the main event or the rest of the shows out there, we were in the back one day and Moondog come back and he said, the hell with that. He said, I ain't never doing that again. He said, he told everybody, he said, I don't care who you are, if we're in your hometown, you're in the main event, and you're staying there. Don't come ask me, can we push the match up? No, we can't.
No, we cannot.
It happens, dude. And that's part of the learning process. And big money franchise, man. I see that you guys really hold all the big titles in Infinity.
Yes, sir. We're missing one, and that's that'll be addressed later. But we have all but one title in Infinity Pro, and
they're the tag team champions. You're the heavyweight champions. So talk to me about Big Money Franchise.
All right. So these are my boys, Connor Vega and JRT. We've all been friends for a while. And the whole concept of us becoming a team was talked about for 2-3 years before it actually came about. Life happened for us all. We all kind of had to do our own thing, but we all ended up in Infinity Pro together. And we were like, hey, y'all think we should do this thing? And at the time I started getting the confidence level to be like, I think I can do this. And those two, they're so underrated. It's crazy. They have the potential to go very far. And that was one of the things I wanted to do, is like, how can I unlock all of our potentials together? And that was one of those things. The three of us, we connect all the dots that the other ones are missing. You know what I mean? Like, anything I lack, one of them covers. Anything they lack, the other one covers, and we all kind of boost each other up to where it's not a group with a leader. It's three individuals with one common goal, on equal footing, looking to tear the wrestling world apart. pretty much, and rebuilding our own image. And that's pretty much big money franchise. That's what our mission statement is. That's what we do. That's what we want to do. You know what I mean? And hopefully we get a lot more attention, because I think we have something really special going on right now. Like, more than anything in my career, I feel the most confident about this very particular spot in time. For me, Connor, Jordan, the three of us, I think it's special. And I really want everyone to stay tuned for it, because we got a lot planned, got a whole lot planned.
I like it, dude. Y'all look good together. I didn't see no awkwardness out there. I didn't see like I mean, you can tell you guys like working together. Y'all have fun, and that's the key to. That's something about wrestling too. Look, here's the thing.
Oh yeah,
it's 100% deathly serious, but you should still be having fun.
Absolutely.
At the same time, man, and I like that. I like the group, man. Talk to me about Infinity Pro itself. How often do y'all run? Do y'all run weekly, monthly? How often do y'all run?
So at the moment, we're running monthly. We're running Sunday out of the month, usually the third or fourth. Usually, I think it's the fourth Sunday of every month, but the dates change here and there. They just opened up late last year, located in Jacksonville, Arkansas, Boys and Girls Club. But hopefully we'll be doing some traveling here soon. It's one of the companies that have a whole lot of potential, whole lot of upside to it. We just got to get it off the ground. And that's kind of what the goal is for this year. Get the company off the ground, get us some notoriety, and let's do work, get something going in that area that's permanent,
Right. And I could be wrong about this, but CJ Jenkins, he's the guy behind this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Him, Brandy, of course, Brandy's family, her daddy's been a wrestler forever and ever. Pretty much everybody in that damn family's a wrestler, I think. Man,
Yeah, that's true.
So let's jump from Infinity Pro, because I see that finally now RWE's fixing to kick back up. Are you going to be on some of these RWE shows, or are you going to? What's going on there,
man? So as it stands, this is the first time I've actually addressed this publicly. As it stands, I have too much going on to make a full commitment to a weekly show again, and RWE is a weekly show. I wish the best for them, but at the moment, they'll do just fine without me, and I just want them to do fine without me, And I got a lot going on, and I think they'll benefit more without having me there than they would if I was. You know what I mean?
See, I didn't know they were going to be weekly once they started. I was wondering that, because, like you said, they were weekly, but I didn't know if they was going to start back slow or whatever. But
yeah, I found this out today.
Well, that's life, though, man. I mean, here's the thing: RWE was gone for almost 2 years.
Yep, just about.
So everybody's kind of moved on and got different stuff going on. It's just the way it is in the business. It ain't nothing just to RWE. It could be any promotion out there that stopped running for a while and then come back. Well, obviously all the talents went on to different places so they can stay active. So
I think.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I said I think they'll be just fine, especially in the area that they're at. I think their business will pick up just fine. They had a lot of loyal fans who are just waiting for RWE to come back. And if they pick up where they left off, maybe change a couple things up, I think they'll be successful. I really do.
Yeah, they ran for 3 years straight every week, pretty much.
Pretty much, yep.
Had a couple of big fan fest events. Grubbs, they were in Grubbs, Arkansas at the time. Where are they? Where are they going to be now?
I think they're in Batesville, Arkansas now.
Okay, I think so too. I think.
Yeah. So I think they're in Batesville now. So
let's go back to Infinity Pro for a minute. Is the idea with Infinity Pro just to stay once a month, or do you think there's got designs on maybe once every 2
Oh,
weeks, or eventually
yeah.
weekly, or
Oh,
or is the
there's
idea
definitely
just to
wanting.
take it as far as y'all can take it?
Man, I think the bi-weekly shows are the main focus, the main goal next. That would be my preferred method. I'm not a fan of weekly shows exactly because it's really hard to stay connected with weekly shows, especially when you have other bookings.
Right.
So being able to do two bi-weekly events per month on a Sunday, I think is the is the goal, and I think that'll be where the most successful will come from for us. But as far as right now, like I said, we're just getting off the ground.
Right. So look, we're fixing to start winding it down, but I got a few
All
more
right.
questions for you. First off, if you could get any opponent you wanted, one dream opponent, could be anybody in this world, who would it be, man?
Sheldon Benjamin. Easy answer.
That's a tall ass that's a heavy ass order right there. You want to know how good you are? You want to level
Yeah.
up? That
Yeah.
he's the guy to do it
That's right.
against, man.
That is right. That's exactly what I think about when I think of Sheldon Benjamin. I'm like, this would be the ultimate test. And he's on the indie scene now.
Right.
So, I mean, I want to
I,
make it happen.
I don't see how. I feel like he's on the indie scene because he wants to be. Because I don't
I
see
think
how
so.
one of the big companies, whether it's WWE, AEW, or Japan,
Yeah.
wouldn't pick Shelton Benjamin up, man. Here's
Yeah.
the thing.
There's no way.
He ain't just a killer in the ring. He's a badass in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He's
hey,
just a bad dude, man.
you want to test your metal? He's a hell of a guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
So you got a call. You get a phone call. Triple H on one end, Tony Khan on the other. Money's the exact same.
Okay.
What's your choice?
I'd go to the E. I'd go to WWE first.
I'm glad you said that, man. I'm so glad you said that.
Man,
Now, you know you're gonna be working your ass off there.
yeah, I know, but it's just where I've always wanted to be, man. Now, if you'd have said TNA, then I'd have had to think a little bit on that because TNA has been my dream company since they first started, and I want to be there more than anything.
Hey, TNA could be the gateway to WWE now
It
and in
could
the
be.
future, man. They ain't doing all this stuff they're doing together for no reason.
That's right.
There's
They got a lot going on.
Yeah, there's more going on in the background. There got to be. They ain't doing this
Oh yeah.
They ain't doing this just to help. WWE ain't doing this just to help TNA.
No. There's got to be
something
something for both. Yeah,
But
no
yeah,
doubt.
I could see that. That'd be a good fit for you. And that'd be a good fit. Suppose Triple H told you, hey, we want you. We want to put you under contract, but we don't want to bring you right up to NXT. We want to send you to TNA first and let you develop some there.
I'd do it. I'd be right there.
So,
I mean,
so that takes me to my next question. I get a lot of different answers that I don't expect sometimes out of this question.
all right.
What is your goal in pro wrestling? What do you want out of this business? Is your goal to make it as far as you possibly can, or do you have other ideas?
Man, so 21-year-old me would have said, absolutely, I want to make it to the WWE. I want to be world champ. I want to do all that. But I've gotten older and I have a daughter now. So my priorities in life have changed drastically.
Right.
And for that, I think if I could be on TV, paying bills, still living my life while also being able to watch my daughter grow up, that's my ultimate goal in wrestling.
I can dig that, man. I understand that 100%. Look, when you're young and you ain't got nobody but yourself, you ain't got no kids, none of that. Life's a heck of a lot more. Them choices make themselves for you. When you got more to look at, and like you said, man, everybody wants to see their kids grow up.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be there. I can respect
course.
that, dude. And like I said, every time I ask somebody and I think I'm going to get one answer, I get a different answer.
Yeah.
I've asked people that I knew they were going to say, oh, hell yeah, I want to be WWE. I want to be the biggest star in the history of wrestling. And get a totally different answer. And I'm like, it took me a few times before I come to terms with that, man.
Yeah, man.
But I can respect that, dude. I can respect that 100%. Talk to me about this. One dream opponent from around our area, the Memphis Mid-South area. That includes Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri. That includes Bluff City Wrestling, Memphis Wrestling, EPW Wrestling, 901 Wrestling. Anybody around our territory, if you could pick one guy that you want to test your mettle against around here, who would it be?
Does Blake Christian count?
Yeah, he counts. Yeah.
Blake Christian.
There you go. That's
Blake
a hell of a
Christian.
matchup too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a hell of a matchup. I wasn't even thinking Blake, but that's a hell of a matchup, dude. I like that,
Yeah.
man.
If he's around, man, I'd love to run it with him. There is a few guys in that list though. I'm only saying Blake because like he's the first one I thought of, but Myron Reed's in there. We got to run it back with Marco Harris because that kid is phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal.
Marco's I mean, and of course he's kind of like you. I was just turned on to Marco. Matter of fact, when he, I guess, first broke in the business, he was just a beanpole kid. No physique. I used to watch him and Devin Grant.
Yeah, I remember Devin.
Wrestle each other. And Marco, in the 2.5 years since I seen him the first time, he has transformed himself, his look, his physique. And I see
he's
that
a beast.
Dude, I see that same thing with you, man.
Thank you, man.
I do, man. Keep your like I said at the start, your look is starting to match your talent in the ring, and that's what you want, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
So let me ask you this: who is your biggest rival in the wrestling business since you've been in it?
Right now,
and this don't mean just in the ring. This means period. In the dressing room, in the ring, the whole gamut. Who do you feel like y'all have been nipping at each other's heels the whole time?
All right. So there's a guy who I literally came up in the business with. He actually started just barely before me, but we all ended up in the same training class. But you may know him. His name is William Blackwell. And William Blackwell and I, there's actually three of us. Okay. Three of us. It's me, William Blackwell, and Grayson Beckett. So those two are FGA, they're a team. Those are also two of my closest friends, but the two guys who I always find myself competing internally against because they're so good at what they do. And I strive to be like them. So a lot of times I'm always trying to elevate my game. Once I see them elevating, I'm like, all right, they've stepped up. Now I got to catch up. And we all kind of make each other work harder, and that's what's kind of made us be best friends because there's always a level of competitive respect for one another, and there's always going to be support. We always support each other, and when it comes down to it,
you need that competitive atmosphere.
Yeah,
to it makes everybody better.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Kind of like the Monday Night Wars back in the day, man. Produced some of the best television wrestling anybody's ever seen anywhere.
Absolutely.
So you need guys like that. Well, look, Dresean, we're fixing to wrap it up, but before we do, tell anybody out here, any promoters, anybody who watches this, where they can contact you for bookings or whatever, and then tell us what you have going on over the next couple of weeks or whatever.
All right. So thanks to technology and whatnot, I've had to make a new Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff. So you can reach me on Facebook at Dresean Prince, well, the investment Dresean Prince, on my personal page at DeMichael Harris. Instagram is Dre Prince MBG. YouTube, I got a new YouTube channel, which is also Dre Prince MBG. And as far as my next couple weeks go, this Saturday I'll be at Vino's, my favorite show. It's the best show, man.
Dude, I love that. I love the atmosphere at that show, man.
Yo, it's amazing.
It looks like it's a fun show to work, man.
It's if you're not doing anything this Saturday, come by, man. Come by and check us out. We got a lot going on at Vino's. Next Saturday we'll be in Huntsville for Diamond State Wrestling. I'll be competing for the inaugural Cruiserweight Championship in a triple threat match. And then the day after that, I'll be going one-on-one with William Blackwell for the IPCW Heavyweight Championship. So that's gonna be really fun.
Right,
but
man. You got a busy little time coming up
yeah,
for you, dude.
got a lot going these next couple weeks, man.
Dresean, man, it's been my pleasure, dude. I've really enjoyed this conversation, man.
Thank
You
you so
are
much. Same here.
I love talking to you, man. Like I said, keep your attitude,
Yes, sir.
keep your confidence, and keep your hunger, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You can make it in this business, dude. Don't ever believe you can't. The minute you believe you can't, you might as well get out because it's over for you. You can make it, dude. You got the talent and you got the potential, man. It's there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, man. It was a pleasure. It was honestly great. Thank you so much for this.
Dude, you take it easy. You have a great night. And like I said, keep your head on your shoulders, right, my brother?
Yes, sir. Have a good one, brother.
You too. All right, guys, you seen it right there. Go check this young man out wherever you get a chance to. Awesome talent in the ring. And now that I've talked to him, man, this dude's got his head screwed on straight, smart about the business. I believe he's smart beyond his age about the business, man. Looks at it the right way. Doing everything right now. Realizing his potential. Guys, look, I appreciate everybody who watched tonight. We'll be back Wednesday night. I got Danny Ice and Lindsey Wild, and you better get ready for this one because Danny Ice is an outspoken dude. And there's one thing he says. People are fake and pro wrestling is real. So you don't want to miss it, guys. Before I get out of here one more time, like this video, share this video, and go to Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube and subscribe. Y'all take it easy.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate